Hey guys, welcome to a new Blender tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you everything about rigid bodies. So we are going to learn some basics about rigid bodies, what they are and how they work. And at the end, we are going to make a rigid body simulation that will look something like this. And one more thing, all my projects are available for download on my Patreon. So there are 50 plus projects that I've made and you can download them all on my Patreon. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down in the description so you can check that out. Okay, so this is our default scene right here. First, to apply physics to any object, to any mesh, what you do is select this mesh and you go into the physics tab right here. Blender's physics is really quite powerful. So there are a lot of options right here. But in this video, we are going to take a look at the rigid body physics. So make sure that the object is selected and add a rigid body. This cube will take part in the physics simulation and it will act as a rigid body. To demonstrate that, I'll go to the first frame and I'll just play this animation right here. And as you can see, our cube falls down and the cube will infinitely fall down until the simulation ends. Okay, so as you saw, rigid bodies are affected by gravity and we can change all the gravity settings and stuff. I'll show you that in a second. But first we'll make a float that this cube can fall on. So Shift A, I'm going to add a plane and we are going to scale this plane about 10 units on each axis and move the cube up. Okay, now if I play this again, as you can see, our cube falls right through this plane. And this is happening because this plane doesn't have any physics applied. So we need to apply a rigid body to this plane as well. So just add a rigid body. So once we have applied the same rigid body physics to our plane, we are going to play this animation. And as you can see, both objects fall with similar speeds. We don't want that actually. We want this plane to be static and stationary. But this plane should interact with the cube. There are multiple ways to do this. Either you can turn off this dynamic setting like that. Or you can change the physics body type, the rigid body type, to passive. And both of them work. So for this tutorial, I'm going to just toggle off this dynamic setting. We'll just play this animation and test this out. And as you can see, the cube falls on this plane. And these two objects are interacting. Now if we look down, we have some collision issues going on. And this is because of the plane's thickness. So we can easily fix that. So select the plane, go under the modifiers and we are going to add a solidify modifier. And the solidify modifier gives us some thickness. As you can see, you can also change the thickness from here. Now we are going to go under the physics properties and under the collision shape, we are going to change it to a box. And Blender will use this collision shape to calculate all of its collisions and stuff. Now as you can see, we can see the wireframe box collision shape right here. At the moment, the collision shape has an offset on the z-axis. In this situation, what we can do is go under the modifiers tab and you can play with this offset value and just change this offset value until this lines up correctly. And if you play this again, the box falls properly and we don't have any issues. So that is really quite good. Okay, now let's make something complex because this is not quite fun. Like it is just a cube falling down. So this is really quite simple. So let's make something that looks more complex. We are going to go to the first frame right here. And we are going to delete the cube, but we are going to keep this plane. And Shift A, I'm going to add a cube again. I'm going to go under physics tab and change it to a rigid body right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use an add-on. This add-on comes with Blender. So by default, you don't need to download anything. It comes built in right in Blender. So you just need to activate it. So go under the edit, preferences, and under the add-ons, we are going to search for an add-on called the Cell Fracture add-on. So make sure that you enable this. The Cell Fracture add-on will sort of fracture this cube and will give us some small shards, and then we can apply some physics to those shards and then we can create a cool destruction simulation. Okay, now it's time to shatter this cube. So first I'm going to go in my edit mode. So you can do that by pressing your tab key, and you can hit the W key and you can subdivide this a bunch of times. So something like this is good. We are going to go under the quick effects and you will find a new option, and this is the self fracture add-on. So just select that, and we are going to change some settings right here. So make sure that the recursion is set to 0. The source limit is also set to 0. Random is also set to 0. Change the noise to something like 0.5. Actually, you know what? Let's make the noise to 1. And you can change the scale of these particles. So 0.5, 0.2 and 0.1. So they're sort of random. And you can change the source limit to something like, actually just leave it at 100. Yeah, just leave it at 100. And you can just hit OK. And as you can see, this will shatter our cube. And the self fracture add-on has successfully calculated all of that. So we still have the original cube, and we'll just move that to the right. And you can see the difference. This is the original cube and this is the fractured cube. So these are individual meshes. Remember that we have applied the physics to our original cube. But if we look at our shards, the shards don't have physics. So there are multiple ways to do this. Either you can select these individual objects and apply the rigid body, but that will consume a lot of time. So we are going to work this out in a very smart way. You can go in the hierarchy and select the first cell, go down and select the last cell. So shift select, and at the end, select this cube. So the cube is an active object, and you can see the difference in the outline color. So these shards have a orange outline, whereas this cube has a yellowish outline, and this cube has the physics applied. So we'll just copy this physics of this cube to all our shards. And the way we do that is, we go under the object and under the rigid body, just copy it from active. So this setting will essentially copy all the physics settings that our cube has. If we hit play, we have a cool destruction animation, and that looks really quite cool. Let me just delete this cube. One more thing, to visualize a scene in a better way, I'm going to go here and turn on the cavity and the shadow option. So those options will just make the visualization of a scene better. And as you can see, this looks really quite good. To change the gravity and everything, you can go under this panel, under the scene properties. And here you have all the properties. So you have the gravity setting right here, which is set to minus 9.8 meter per second. So this is physically accurate. These are the main settings for a rigid body. So as you can see, you can change the speed of a rigid body. And you can change the number of frames. So the first frame and the last frame. So by default, the rigid body simulation is 250 frames long. So you can maybe change that to 100. And let me change the end frames to 100 as well. And if I play this, the simulation will just last for 100 frames. Also, you can bake the simulation. And what baking means is finalizing your settings and just finalizing the simulation. I'll just click this bake setting. And what this has done is, this has essentially sort of taken the simulation data and stored it locally on your disk drive. So that's it guys, this was the basics of creating rigid body simulations. And if you like this video, leave a like down below, it really helps a lot. And thank you for the amazing support on YouTube and on Patreon. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next video.